Hello, everyone, and welcome. As a hotel AI expert, I've spent years working with some of the world's top luxury hotels, helping them build what I truly believe is their single most powerful asset. And today, I'm just so thrilled to share that blueprint with you, the future leaders from Europe Hotel School, to help you build your own legacy in this incredible industry.
Okay, let's just dive right in with a fundamental truth. This quote, it absolutely nails what separates a good hotel from a legendary one. You know, it's not about the stuff you can touch, like the expensive sheets or the fancy marble in the lobby. It's about that consistent, undeniable feeling of being genuinely cared for. And that feeling, it comes from one thing, and one thing only, a powerful service culture.
So think of what we're doing today as drawing up an architectural plan. First, we're going to lay the foundation. Then, we'll design the actual blueprint. After that, we'll talk about how you bring it all to life with your team. And finally, we'll reinforce the whole structure with something called empowerment and show you why this culture is, believe me, your ultimate insurance policy.
So what even is a service culture? Well, here's the thing. It doesn't just happen by accident. It's the invisible architecture of your guest's experience. It's a very intentional, carefully structured process that defines the how and the why behind every single thing your team does. It's what makes sure everyone is a unified ambassador for your brand.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Your hotel's identity, whether you're all about luxury or a cool boutique vibe or a sleek contemporary feel, that's just an idea, right? It's abstract. Culture is the engine that takes that brand promise and turns it into real, tangible actions that a guest can actually see and feel.
All right, let's get to the design phase. This is where we stop talking about big ideas and start, drafting the actual plans. We are creating a detailed playbook that turns your hotel's core values into concrete, non-negotiable standards of behavior for your entire team.
And this whole process, it really breaks down into 3 clear foundational steps. First, you define your core values. Second, you craft an inspiring service philosophy. And third, you get it all down on paper in a comprehensive service standards manual. This is the very heart of your blueprint. So, first up, your core values. You really just need 3 to 5 simple, memorable principles. But here's the crucial part. These can't just be words on a poster. They have to translate directly into action. Let's take anticipation. What does that actually mean? Well, for a front desk agent, it means you never wait for a guest to ask about their luggage at checkout. You're already on it, one step ahead. See? That's a value in action.
Next up, you need a service philosophy. This becomes your team's mantra. It should be a short, inspiring statement that perfectly sums up the promise of your culture. It's the why behind what they do. It's not just about checking guests in and out. It's about orchestrating a seamless journey. It gives the work a higher purpose. And all of that leads us to the most detailed, nitty-gritty part of the blueprint, the Service Standards Manual. Seriously, think of this as the playbook. It covers every single step of the guest journey from the moment they book to the moment they leave. It turns your values and philosophy into measurable, step-by-step procedures.
And when I say detailed, I mean it. Inside this manual, you'll have things like the arrival choreography, which is the precise scripted sequence from the moment a car pulls up to the guest entering their room. You'll have phone etiquette, like answering every call within 3 rings. And, so important, a section on service recovery that outlines exactly how to handle a complaint, starting with empathy and ownership.
Okay, a blueprint is totally useless if it just sits in a drawer, right? So in this next part, we're going to talk about how to actually build your service culture. This is where the plans meet the people and where standards get embedded through training and probably most importantly through leadership.
And this slide says it all. You absolutely cannot teach culture in a classroom with a PowerPoint presentation. It just doesn't work. It has to be an immersive experience. Your team needs to live it, they need to feel it, and they need to see it in action every single day.
So how do you create that immersion? 2 methods are absolutely critical. First, a culture day. The very first day of training for any new hire, led by the general manager, by the way, should be all about the culture, the values, the stories, before they learn a single technical skill. Second, leadership. The front office manager has to be the living, breathing example of these standards. Culture always starts at the top.
Now, to protect the integrity of this culture you're building, you also have to define what I call non-negotiables. These are the absolute red lines. They are behaviors that, if they happen, result in immediate corrective coaching, no exceptions. Things like failing to use a guest's name or arguing with a guest, they're just not acceptable.
This is how you enforce discipline and consistency. Now we've arrived at the keystone of this entire structure. This is the one element that allows your culture to be flexible, to be responsive, and to be truly exceptional. It's called empowerment. And without it, even the best blueprint in the world can become rigid and fragile.
So, what is empowerment? Well, in its simplest form, it's about trusting your frontline team. It's about giving them the authority and the tools to fix guest issues on the spot, right then and there, without having to run and ask a manager for permission. It's all about speed and ownership.
This comparison just gets right to the heart of the mindset shift. The old way of doing things is full of delays and phrases like, let me check with my manager. The luxury way, the empowered way, is to train your team with a totally new mantra. You own the guest's issue from the very moment you hear it.
So how do you actually do it? Well, there are two really practical pillars. First, you give your staff defined authority. You tell them exactly what they can offer. A round of drinks on the house, a voucher up to a certain dollar amount to solve a problem instantly. Second, you have to relentlessly train and encourage them to take personal ownership of finding a solution. This whole principle is endorsed by top institutions like Europe Hotels School London for a reason, because it really, really works.
Okay, finally, let's frame this entire cultural blueprint for what it truly is. It is the single most important investment you can make in your hotel's long-term success and its reputation. This isn't a cost, it's your ultimate insurance policy.
Because, let's be real for a second, in hotel operations, things are going to go wrong. A reservation will get mixed up. Room service will be late. These little hiccups are simply inevitable. But when you have a strong culture, what you have is a team that is trained to respond perfectly every single time. And they turn a potential bad review into a story about incredible service recovery. So, as you all move forward in your careers, I want to leave you with this question to really think about. When you're in a position of leadership, when you're the one setting the tone, what will be the first core value that you champion? Because that choice, that one decision, will be the very first brick you lay in the foundation of your own service culture.